What is going on, guys? How are you all doing? RangoVidsAmango12 here, and we have Miles Morales The Ultimate Spider-Man issue 10, and this is actually a really highly anticipated issue, mainly because it was said that Miles was going to get a new spider power in this issue, but sadly now Miles isn't going to get that new spider power until issue 12, so that's actually going to be quite interesting because issue 12 is the issue where the Ultimate Universe is said to be ending. Now guys, in case you don't know, the Ultimate Universe isn't exactly ending. What's happening is the Ultimate Universe, the 616 universe and the 2099 universe are all merging into one universe to create something called Secret Wars Battle World. Now, I'll probably make a video on this explaining more in detail of Secret Wars Battle World in the future, but basically what's going to happen is 616, Peter Parker and Miles Morales are going to end up in the same universe together. And yeah, that's all I'm going to say on that, but I kind of don't actually have any giveaways for you guys for this issue, so I figured that I'll give away an issue of The Amazing Spider-Man issue 14 and Miles Morales The Ultimate Spider-Man issue 2. Now, I've had them codes for a while, and since I don't have a code for this issue, I figured that I'd give away them issues instead. But guys, it is first come first serve, so if you type in that code and it says that it's already been redeemed or something like that, then I'm sorry, it means that you're too late and someone else got there before you. So yeah, it's first come first serve for those codes, they're up for grabs, so yeah. Anyway guys, I'm sure you're extremely eager to get into this issue, so let's get into it. Alright, so the issue kicks off with Maria Hill going after the Spider Twins. You know, the Beetle Twins or whatever they were? Yeah, she's going after them, and we haven't really heard much of them recently, mainly because of what's been going on with the Spider-Verse and all that. But she's actually storming an apartment or a building of where they were supposed to be, and it turns out that they were expecting them. They even left a little, you know, like a little spider mask behind. They even left one of them just to, like, you know, kind of taunt the police, saying that we got you kind of thing. Anyway, we now go over to Miles Morales' academy of where he learns all his school stuff and that, you know, his education stuff, yeah. Well, of course, Miles' dad did return in a few issues back, and in the previous issue, Miles and his dad actually made amends. His dad understood that Miles was Spider-Man and stuff, and now Miles' dad, Jefferson, has had to go into the principal's office, you know, talk it through, talk about how he's finding his wife's death difficult, and even though he has found his wife's death difficult, he was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent, we have to remember, and we did find out about his old life and what he experienced whilst he was working for the Kingpin, so I imagine that he's lost, like, people close to him before, but obviously nothing's worse than losing your wife, so damn. But yeah, so it turns out that Miles is going to be back in school tomorrow, and as you can see on screen, Miles is taking a me day. And honestly, I cannot wait for the interaction between Miles and his dad from now on, because if you think about it, Miles now has someone to talk to. He can literally just go home in his Spider-Man costume, take off his mask and go, "Dad, I am having the worst day ever." You know, he can actually talk to his dad now. He can talk about his superhero endeavours and what's been going on in his Spider-Man life. And the best part is that his dad is going to understand, because his dad was a S.H.I.E.L.D. agent. He knows that side of the... He knows that the grass isn't green on the other side. He knows what it's like, and I think that's going to lead to some really interesting interactions. Maybe even his dad getting kidnapped or something like that. You know, like, I don't know, maybe I'm just over speculating, but I think that's going to be awesome. But as you can see, Sabretooth and Electro are attacking each other, and if I'm not mistaken, the last time we saw Electro was in the early comics of Miles Morales, where Miles actually used his Venom Blast for the first time on Electro. And I think that was when S.H.I.E.L.D. actually had Electro, like, you know, they had him under arrest. But yeah, so that's really interesting. And of course, as you can see, Cloak and Dagger have come out of nowhere to help Miles. And the funny thing is that they actually think that Miles is the one that caused all this, and they actually expected him to be in the middle of it. But as we know, Miles was actually just going to stand at the sidelines and watch these two beat them up. Well, beat each other up, should I say. And Miles actually gives the final blow to Electro's jaw, which is just awesome. And there's an epic punch right there. And what you've got to remember is that, if I'm not mistaken, the all-new Ultimates aren't together anymore. So it was Miles, Bombshell, Cloak and Dagger, and a few others, and they were actually the all-new Ultimate team, and they aren't together anymore. Now, I haven't read any of the recent issues with the all-new Ultimates, but I do know that they actually split up, and I think they're actually going to get brought together again. I can't remember which issue that's in, but I know that it's going to happen. But yeah, so as you can see, Miles has been telling Cloak and Dagger about his girlfriend knowing that he's Spider-Man and how she ran off. And I think it's really interesting how she just didn't like Miles' girlfriend from the start. She obviously knows that there's something up with her. She might not be suspicious of her, but she knows that she's a little bit weird, you know, like she doesn't like her. She gets that girl sense, you know, like, I don't know. But anyway, one of the most awesome parts of this issue is seeing Gank again just absolutely rocking out in his room, and Miles comes in through the window and the first thing he says is, "Oh dear God," and I think that's just absolutely perfect. I don't know about you guys, but I absolutely miss Gank in the comics. I mean, he's been in the comics ever since Miles Morales' first ever issue of being like Spider-Man or whatever, and it's really good to see him finally. I mean, he brings that humorous side to the comic. He brings back the human, you know, like interactions with Miles about talking about Lego and stuff like that, and I think we're going to be seeing a whole lot more of Gank, especially because Miles is finally going back to his academy, so I think we're going to be seeing a lot more interactions between them two. But as you can see on screen, Miles has gone to his girlfriend's house, and as we know, their family isn't all that they seem. There's a little bit of Hail Hydra in there, which is really interesting, and I have no idea why this happens, but Miles' spider sense just does not go off for some reason. I mean, everything about this comic is perfect, but I don't understand how Miles' spider sense just doesn't go off. Maybe it's his emotions because it's Kate's dad that he's meeting or something like that. I'm not entirely sure, but he is the most mysterious person ever. Especially because Miles has fallen for the old drink knockout trick where his drink's been spiked and he like gets knocked out or whatever. But what I really want to know is, how did Kate's dad know that Miles was Spider-Man? How did he know that he had the spider powers? I mean, he said that Kate didn't give up his secret, so how could he possibly know that Miles was Spider-Man? Now, guys, I'm going to give out a really, like, massive theory right here, a pretty major theory, and I'm going to say that Kate's dad is the boss of the Spider Twins. He's the guy that is telling the Spider Twins what to do. You know the Beetle Twins? I think that he is telling them what to do. Maybe he's the boss behind the entire thing, I don't know, but... Or maybe he's the guy that even brought Peter Parker back to life. I highly doubt that, but I don't know. I just have a feeling that he somehow ties in with the Spider Twins. Of course, there is that thing about Kate's dad protecting his daughter, you know, like trying to figure out a bit more about her boyfriend, which is Miles, and then suddenly coming to the realization that Miles is Spider-Man. So maybe he just figured out that he was Spider-Man by mistake, when he was actually just trying to figure out a little bit more because he's Kate's boyfriend, I suppose, I don't know. And issue 12, Miles actually does get a new spider power, so I wonder if that ties into the end of the Ultimate Universe. Maybe Miles actually goes nuclear, who knows, but yeah, what did you guys think of this issue? Let me know in the comment section below because I really want to know your thoughts. Now, I'm going to give this issue a 9 out of 10. I thought it was absolutely brilliant. I absolutely loved the art. It was nice. I don't know what it is, but the Ultimate Comics just brings something out in me. I think it pumps me up to make, like, 100 videos in a row or something like that. There's just something about the Ultimate Comics that is just so awesome that there's a reason they're my favourite comics. But yeah, so 9 out of 10. Also guys, I actually previewed this comic weeks ago on my Facebook page, and I've actually already previewed, I think I've already previewed a page from issue 11 or it's issue 12, I'm not sure. But either way, I think Miles actually gets bit by another spider. So go to my Facebook page to see that. And yeah, make sure you hit the subscribe button on this video. Don't forget to hit the like button. Hit the like button to save Miles Morales, people. And yeah, I will see you guys in my next video.